Hi guys, LC Fifa here, and wanted 93 icon moments Schmeichel player review. I thought I'd mix up the format of these videos a little bit because I've done a lot of videos recently with sort of music just playing over the video, so I thought I'd go back to doing some video commentary. Please let me know in the comment section which one you think works best for these types of videos. Just to start off, we've got Schmeichel in goal, Walker, Varane, Sanchez and Cornet in defence, Lahm, Rice, Rui Costa in midfield, with Mane, Shearer and Bowen in attack. Schmeichel's 6'4", he's right-footed and has a 1-star skill moves and a 3-star weak foot. Looking at his in-game stats, he's got 93 diving, 89 handling, 91 kicking, 95 reflexes, 52 speed, which is broken down to 54 acceleration and 48 sprint speed, and 92 positioning. I did buy him with the glove chemistry style already applied, but to be honest, looking at his stats, this is probably something I would have put on anyway. He doesn't actually have any traits, which is a little bit disappointing. And then looking at his icon profile, he actually surprisingly got this card in recognition for a goal he scored from a corner whilst he was playing for Aston Villa. So actually not to do with his goalkeeping ability. As we get into the clips, I think it's quite important to mention that I actually wasn't playing too well when I was playing with Schmeichel and all these other cards in the team for some reason. And my actual defence wasn't playing too great either. Which was a little bit disappointing. So he actually came under quite a lot of pressure, and unfortunately his save percentage for me was quite low because he actually was put in a lot of situations where it was quite difficult for any goalkeeper to make a save really. So that's just something to consider both on my behalf and if you're watching some of the goals that he concedes. I don't think there's a lot he could have done about some of them, but we'll go through his stats anyway. So 93 diving, I mean, outside the box, he had some decent diving animations. Even inside the box, I'd say he had some occasionally. But I think against certain situations, he probably could have done a little bit better, in my opinion. When it came to choosing diving animations, he didn't seem to sort of make himself feel quite big in the goal. He's 6'4", but he didn't really use his height to his advantage when it came to basically trying to stick an arm out to get a hand to the ball. A lot of the times he sort of stayed quite narrow in the sort of dive animations that he performed, so that wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't terrible. I've used keepers that have worse diving animations than him, and like I say, sometimes he did make some quite decent diving animations, so just a bit hit and miss really, but I'd definitely say inside the box they weren't quite as good as what I was expecting them to be. So yeah, he's got 89 handling as well, which for me was a little bit disappointing, to be honest. I'd say it was a little bit better than the other versions that I've used so far in the game, so his prime and his other lower rated versions, his mid and base. But yeah, still 89 as a stat is actually quite high, but I find a lot of goalkeepers that aren't naturally good at handling the ball. Even with stat boost, they don't tend to get catch animations, which means they can't keep hold of the ball as much. So yeah, I'd say that was a little bit disappointing, to be honest. 91 kicking was actually really good though. Kicking out of his hands was very accurate and very powerful as well. So he was great at starting up quick counter attacks from corners, or if you were turning the ball over from your defence to attack. The one thing I will say though is that he doesn't have a long throw trait, which is a little bit disappointing. And I tend to use the goalkeeper throw quite a lot in games, so it wasn't great when he was trying to throw the ball out and it wasn't really reaching anywhere near the halfway line. It also makes it a bit easier to intercept as well, so just something to watch out for there. So 95 reflexes, I actually thought they were quite good, although I complained earlier about the amount of saves he made inside the box, which usually comes down to reflexes. I think he actually reacted to the shots in a decent amount of time. I think it was more down to positioning and diving that were the main issues that this card had when it came to making saves inside the box. Like I said, reaction-wise to shots, I think he reacted quite quickly, and he is capable of making some really great saves. I think that's probably what actually counters his diving as such inside the box, is that he has such high reflexes that it gives him a little bit more time to maybe enter a diving animation and complete it to be able to reach the ball in time. So all in all, I wouldn't say his reflexes are actually bad. I think they're actually quite good, and they were probably the best aspects of the card for me. It's 52 speed as well, although there's a lot of goalkeepers out now with higher speed than this. I actually think he felt quite fast in game when it came to rushing out at players and trying to reach crosses and corners into the box. His speed was never actually an issue for me, and that might be because he has a higher acceleration compared to sprint speed. And a lot of the time, obviously, keepers aren't really running large lengths of the pitch, so having a higher acceleration is really what you'd want from a goalkeeper. And then finally, he's also got 92 positioning, and I think maybe from outside the box this wasn't so bad, but inside the box, occasionally I'd say that he offered up too much of the goal across goal. He went towards his near post quite a lot for me, which meant that there was a lot of space to the side of him, which allowed people to shoot past him. And again, this might be part of the problem when it came to players finishing passing inside the box. I also felt that sometimes he was stood a little bit too far off his line as well, which, although closes down the space between him and the attacker, again, it just leaves him a lot of space to maybe slot the ball past him and doesn't give him as much time to react to the shot, which again could be part of the issue that I had with him. So all in all, his positioning was a bit hit and miss really. I wouldn't say it quite met the 92 rating for me, and I think even with the glove boost, that does boost diving, handling, positioning, all three of those stats for me were still slightly underwhelming, to be honest, and yeah, just weren't the best aspects of the card. Taking all this into consideration, I think maybe a rating of about 8.3 would be fair. As I was saying, I wasn't playing particularly well, and my defenders weren't playing particularly well either, which put Schmeichel in a lot of difficult situations when it came to trying to save shots. I think had I been playing a little bit better defensively, he might have performed a little bit better too. So I think 8.3 is a fair rating. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. And to request any future content, just leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll make sure to reply.